When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
Have you heard of NIMBYism? NIMBY, not in my backyard. Sometimes you see a project that people are proposing, and they're actually going to take an abandoned garage or a closed down strip mall, and they're going to replace it with housing and stores, and there will be opposition from the people that live a couple of blocks away, and they will say, not in my backyard. Let's talk about NIMBYism. Now, nearly 75% of Quebecers oppose urban sprawl. And just think about that. You know, if you want to build, and if you don't let people build in the city, they're going to have to build outside of the city, on farmland, on maybe environmental lands, right? And that creates urban sprawl, but most people don't want to see that either. Now, at its annual conference, the Quebec Construction and Housing Association unveiled a survey highlighting the public's growing concern over projects encroaching on farmland and natural spaces. Now, that makes a lot of sense. Now, the solution would be to densify urban areas. But often, if you try and densify an urban area, you get the NIMBYism. How do you win given that scenario? Let's find out. Karine Casault joins us, Senior Director of Strategic Communications and Sustainable Development for the Quebec Construction and Housing Association. Karine, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
It sort of sounds like you're in a no-win scenario if you want to develop at times. How do you feel?
Well, we are facing one of the worst housing crises in our history. We need to build 1.2 million homes before 2030 if we want to get back to more affordability in housing. So we wanted to understand at this association what are the winning conditions, how can we counter the NIMBY phenomenon. So we basically found out that there were 3 winning conditions to densify in urban areas. And these winning conditions are more green space, are also to improve infrastructure and build homes that respect the environment.
So these are the 3 success factors here. If you want to present a proposal within a community and to get the people that live next door to be on board, sell it to them with an increase in green space, improvement of infrastructure. Everyone wants to talk, we're going to make the traffic better, not worse, basically, if we come in. And then, of course, environmentally friendly homes. Have you seen that work, by the way? Do you have examples of this actually working?
Absolutely. So one of our speakers that we had at our conference last week, so Laurence Prével she's from Prével, Laurence Vincent from Prével. Mm-hmm. She was she works mainly in Montreal, development projects in Montreal. And she has many successful projects that countered the NIMBY phenomenon. So yes, it's possible if you follow these winning conditions. Also, if you consult upstream of a project, the community, and if you take stakeholders' concerns into account, and if you demonstrate transparency, these are also winning conditions or winning factors to ensure that projects are socially acceptable accepted.
And on the green spaces, I got to ask you just what kind of a promise needs to be made, right? Because it's one thing to say, oh, look, we're going to have this tiny corner of the property, and that will be a green space, and maybe 1 or 2 of you can bring your dog. But do you have to, I would imagine you actually have to promise something bigger, something bolder. I don't know if you could tell us a bit on that front. When we talk about increasing green spaces, what type of projects, promises do the neighbors need to see?
Well, they will tell you, right? The neighbors, if you consult them upstream, what their expectations are. And I would say that projects that are well integrated in their environment, these kinds of projects have basically a higher chance of being accepted.
And on infrastructure, what is the ask there? What are we talking about when we say promising better infrastructure?
It could be roads, so access to projects. It could be also more or better parks, playgrounds. It could also be water infrastructure. So these needs to be maintained or developed in many urban areas. So that could be also one of the asks, depending on where the project is located and what the kind of project.
We're with Karine Casault from the Quebec Construction and Housing Association. Karine, let's get back to the NIMBYism and the backlash we see in not just one community. It seems like every community faces this issue. What would you say when it comes to the role that politicians have to play, the mayors, the city council members? What would you say to their role? And maybe if you look across Quebec and more specifically in the Montreal area, some of the hurdles that politicians put in place before allowing projects to go through.
The politicians now have a new superpower, as we call it, that was basically included in law number 31 that was recently passed, and that allows them to accept projects that are social housing based or that take place in cities with 10,000 or more inhabitants. So that allow them to accept these projects and not go through a voting period at the council with citizens. So that allows them to basically develop more and more quicker, basically.
All right, Karine, listen, we have to leave it there. We're out of time. I want to thank you so much for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. That's Karine Casault, Senior Director of Strategic Communications and Sustainable Development for the Quebec Construction and Housing Association.